Hello and welcome everybody. This is Arne Bergman from Panagenda, and today I'm going to talk about MarvelClient, your way to simplify and automate your Notes Client Management. We're in the market as Panagenda now since 2007, but those of us who know us know that the experts within Panagenda are in this field for much longer. So we have a pretty good understanding what is very important, what matters most to customers. I think we've heard 10,000s of questions around Notes Client Management, tuning, performance, Citrix, and many other topics. So what all customers have in common is that they wish to have a reliable Notes Client deployment, super stable, standardized, thus easy to maintain and worry-free for both administration teams as well as for the employees working with Notes. So let's have a look at the first thing, which is knowing what's out there. We provide with MarvelClient accurate analytics and reporting to keep you always and updated in the know about the Notes Client status. So questions like how Notes Client software releases are installed, where are they installed, which clients have latency or startup problems and are slow in general, where are the users and which are those users with the super specific custom configurations, different icon stack orders, specific location settings, and whatever, running on laptops, in the office, outside the office, using workstations, using Citrix, etc. How the Notes clients are installed, which users are working on local, which are working online, etc., etc. We have more than 200 client details, always up to date at your fingertips to keep you in the know or to enable you to do proper planning and always have information at your fingertips when you need it most, when your staff is calling you in helpdesk. And the best helpdesk ticket is the one that doesn't occur, which brings me to the next topic, reducing helpdesk tickets. The best ticket is the one that doesn't occur, as I said. So MarvelClient allows you to also create actions which run persistently. And with that, we can perfectly reduce the number of helpdesk tickets. Imagine that you can automatically configure location and connection documents for Notes clients. You have the objects within the Notes client, be it UI, be it Eclipse, be it something deep in the background. You have it in persistent management so that your users solely need to know if I run into an issue, I restart Notes quickly. If it still is present, then I call support. And this is where we are with this self-healing capability, reducing help desk calls because they do not even occur. So the percentage is always somewhere between 70 and 90%. Because we ensure that the Notes client settings, as the corporate wishes them to be, are automatically maintained across all users. And when I say all users, I don't mean it's a solution with one configuration that all users have in common. No, we can be super specific based on groups and based on conditions. MarvelClient is working a lot with conditions, like is this condition met? Execute yes. If not, execute not, or execute differently depending on hardware, on operation type. Yeah, you treat Citrix users different from workstation users, laptop users different from workstation users, etc., etc. So MarvelClient actions are super intelligent by themselves to only execute the way they need to execute when certain conditions are met. That brings me to the roaming topic and Citrix. Running nodes on Citrix is a great thing if done correctly. So many customers are asking us if there is a better solution than having the data directories on network resources. Oh yes, please. That's the first thing that Christoph Adler or Mark Thomas will say when they are talking with customers in this area of Citrix tuning for nodes. The backup sets, well, the regular IBM HCL roaming backup sets, they can have something between 30, 40, 60, up to 150 megabytes, depending on the complexity of the client. That consumes managed storage, which costs money. That also is very relevant when it comes to starting notes, because imagine you have to move a complete truck full of furniture into the new house, or you do it the panagenda way and you have a nice shopping list or a description list of how should the client look like when it's started here or started there. So we are reducing this backup size to as little as 1 to 2 or 3, probably even 4 megabytes, depending on the size of the names address book, which usually is the biggest component, because we are not interpreting it in XML, which we zip, which makes the desktop all of a sudden only be 15 kilobytes of size instead of many megabytes. The names and address book we are roaming content-wise to be as small as possible. Small and nice to the network, small and nice to the storage and the resulting storage costs. And that the whole thing makes Citrix much, much more stable. Citrix is a connection sensitive thing, so if something breaks, you have to reload the whole thing. Now imagine roaming 100 megabytes or roam 600 kilobytes. That is a huge difference for the user. The user will not even realize how much actually is happening on the machine. Thus, we are not only making it much, much more stable, much more cost effective, we are reducing the support headaches a lot. Upgrading is a nightmare for many organizations because they are still following the good old traditional software deployment way of doing this. A Notes client is not an Office package. And it's treated like an Office package by many software deployment tools or software deployment teams. That's why so many upgrades fail. That's why so many customers are not upgrading as fast as they actually could. So HCL is bringing out one release after the other and fix specs, but customers are not keeping up with that speed. Because for them, upgrading Notes clients is a nightmare of a project, which takes a lot of time. Just talking about the packaging, while the packaging and testing with a traditional methodology, it may take you weeks to months. With MarvelClient, the wizard, it's a question of hours, plus a few days of very thorough testing, but that's it. Also, we don't have to follow steps like coming from this release, going to the next release, etc., etc. No, we do one single shot and have all the Notes client installs, even back into Notes 5 releases, all standardized in one single shot to the new and desired solution. Yeah? So you make, instead of several and half of them failing projects, you make one very fast and successful project, and when the next fix spec from HCL comes, well, you only have to make a nice little adjustment, probably will take you an hour, including a quick test, and you can deploy the next fix spec. This is how you upgrade clients. As said, you are upgrading the clients from the inside and not treat it like a software package which you deploy and install from the outside. That's a big, big difference. When we talk about client management and how it's done right, going back to the reduction of help desk calls, well, if you want to run your environment in a very cost-effective, reliable, standardized, and fast way with as little help desk tickets as possible, you need to get rid of the old way, the help desk-centric way dealing with clients. You may have a help desk tool and some methodologies like agents and buttons and whatever that allows you to solve problems faster than usual because you are prepared already. But this does not really help a lot, because if the problem occurs 1,000 times per year, you have to solve it 1,000 times, and another problem 1,000 times, and so on and so forth. So you have ongoing headaches and a high frustration on the end user side. and management, because yeah, it's always something happening with notes and it takes time. With MarvelClient activated for each of the individual notes clients, everything changes. We make a thorough analysis with the analytics module of MarvelClient. So we have a technical assessment. On top of that, we talk with your help desk in order to identify those problems that occur the most often. And this is what we focus on with the so-called master configuration, which is the first yellow wave, the master configuration. And after that, we only have to adjust it over time. So the benefit is huge, especially because of this persistent settings and configuration management. Imagine every single user in your organization knows I only have to restart Notes if I have a problem, and it's solved. If it's not solved, in the rare case it's not solved, I call helpdesk. And this means a really steady cost reduction when working with MarvelClient and Notes. So please trust MarvelClient. Thousands of customers, business partners all around the globe, and HCL trust Panagenda and trust Panagenda MarvelClient to manage your Notes client environment every single day and on all platforms. With MarvelClient integrated in Nomad, managing it, with MarvelClient being shipped with Domino 10, 11 and future versions. Half of the work is already done. The databases which control and analyze your client environment are shipped already with Domino. The DLL that controls the clients themselves is shipped with version 10 and 11 already. And for those that have elder client versions, you only need a single server on Domino 10 or Domino 11, create the database, push out the MarvelClient DLL with the built-in deploy actions of MarvelClient, and immediately you will have total control about your client infrastructure. We support all platforms. You see, it's Android, iOS for Nomad, and Citrix, as well as macOS and Windows for the Notes Rich client, as well as HCAA. So trust MarvelClient and have us work together.